smarter than average Canadian? Today we are going to explore in this quiz founding of Canada. So if you want to learn something or you want to test yourself, this is perfect video for you. Or if you just want to lay down and listen to the guy whispering softly. Hello and bonjour to Canadians, by the way, and to everybody else. So we have few blocks, and I will start with the block 1, which would be appropriate. But before that, did Canadian ever apologize to you? If he did, write me down in the comments for what he apologized for you. I heard it brings luck or something. So, first, which place in Newfoundland is known for the earliest confirmed Norse settlement in Canada? L'Anse-à Meadows, Louisbourg, Red Bay, or Gander? L'Anse-à Meadows, Louisbourg, Red Bay, or Gander? So which one was that? And it was A. L'Anse-à Meadows. Aux. I don't know how to pronounce it properly. My French is... pardon my French. It's a UNESCO listed Viking site in Newfoundland showing Norse presence in North America. Yes, because Norse was... They were the first, but they left for some reason. Now, over or under question, where you guess over or under. The Hudson's Bay Company received its royal charter in a year, over or under 1680. So when did Hudson's Bay Company received its royal charter, which, you know, they basically made America, they colonized Canada. And it was under, it was year 1670. The charter granted exclusive trading rights in a vast territory later called Rupert's Land. It was called Rupert's Land. Fun fact. Next, what is the name of the indigenous confederacy, often called the Five Nations, later Six Nations? They found one nation. So what is the name? What is the name of the confederacy, often called Five Nations, later Six Nations? You probably don't know that. But Canadians probably know that. It's Haudenosaunee. Yeah, I'm going to butcher many of these things because I know them only in Czech. It's Haudenosaunee Confederacy, a powerful alliance in the Great Lakes region, also known as the Iroquois Confederacy. Iroquois, French are Iroquois. Yeah, people that play. Is it in Europa Universalis or Victoria? Oh, no, if in Victoria, no. It's in Europa Universalis, I think. Next one. In early French Canada, what was the long, narrow riverfront landholding pattern called? In early French Canada, what was the long, narrow riverfront landholding pattern called? It was A. Seigneurial system, Homestead Act, Encomienda, or open field system. What they had, Americans had these towns, so they had this seigneurial system, Homestead Act, Encomienda, or open field system, and it was seigneurial system. It organized farms as long strips along rivers for access to water, transport, and fertile land. Thanks, Manu. Sorties from earliest to latest. So I'm going to tell you 4 terms, or like not terms, events, and you have to sort them from earliest to latest. So Leans Ag Meadows, founding of Quebec City, Treaty of Utrecht, Royal Proclamation of 1763, it actually says, so that gives you a little bit of leeway. So Leans Ag Meadows, founding of Quebec City, Treaty of Utrecht, and Royal Proclamation of 1763. And it's just how it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Leans Ag Meadows is the founding by Nords. Quebec City it was before, around 1000. Quebec City is 1608. Utrecht is 1713. And Royal Proclamation is 1763. Now match A through D to 1, 2, 4. So A is Acadia, B is Rupert's Land, C is Terra Nova, and D is Saint Lawrence River. Saint Lawrence River, yes, Saint Lawrence River. So Acadia, Rupert's Land, Terra Nova, Saint Lawrence River. And the terms are New Land, name for Newfoundland. 2. French region in the Maritimes. 3. Main route into the interior. And 4. Vast HPC territory. Hudson's Bay Company. It's HPC. Hudson's Bay Company. So, and it is A. Acadia is French region in the Maritimes. It was Atlantic Canada. The Rupert's Land. B is vast HB Hudson's Bay Company territory. Rupert's Land was administered by Hudson's Bay Company. Next we have Terra Nova, which is a new land name for Newfoundland. Terra Nova refers to Newfoundland. And Saint Lawrence territory, river, is main route into the interior. Saint Lawrence River. Now you have to identify who I am talking about. So, hint 1. I drew influential maps of New France and helped build alliances in the St. Lawrence region. So, I drew influential map of New France and helped build alliances in the St. Lawrence region. Number 2. I founded a settlement that grew into Quebec City. So, Quebec City founder. And number 3, I'm often called the father of New France, so French territories. And the name is, if you know, you know. If you don't, Samuel the Chaplain. Yeah. A central figure in early French colonization and exploration in what is now Canada. Now, open-ended. What is the common used name for the British deportation of Acadians from their homeland? So what is the common used name for the British deportation of Acadians from their homeland? And it was the Great Expulsion, also called the which is I will tell you four terms and one doesn't belong. So A is Cree, B is Inuit, B is Inuit, C is Mi'kmaq, and D is Acadians. So which one doesn't belong? So Cree, Inuit, Mi'kmaq, and Acadians. So Cree, Inuit, and Mi'kmaq are indigenous peoples. Acadians are a French-speaking settler descendant community. Okay. Acadians, it's like Akkad, Sargon of Akkad. Block number two. So, which meeting is often seen as the starting point of the Confederation negotiations? Which meeting is often seen as the starting point of the Confederation negotiations? A. Charlottetown Conference, Yalta Conference, Paris Peace Talks, or Bandung Conference. So Charlottetown Conference, Yalta Conference, Paris Peace Talks, or Bandung Conference, and it's of course Charlottetown Conference. Those other words are completely from different time. It began as Maritime Union meeting, then expanded into broader talks about new federation. Now, over or under. Canada became a dominion in a year over or under 1870. So Canada, it was Hudson's Bay Company, and was what they and then became Dominion. That's what you play in Victoria Free. No, Victoria Free is Hudson's Bay Company in Hearts of Iron 4. My autism is another level. Okay, so over or under? It was under. It was 1867. Confederation united Ontario, Quebec, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick under one federal government. Next one. What is the name of the act that created the Dominion of Canada and laid out its original constitution? How is the act called? And it's called British North America Act, later renamed to the Constitution Act. 1867 established a federal system and provincial powers. What was the name of John A. Macdonald's plan linking tariffs, settlement, and the transcontinental rail link? It was A. National policy, B. Containment policy, C. New Deal, or D. Quiet Revolution. National policy, containment policy, New Deal, Quiet Revolution. And it was national policy, a program to build industry and bind the country together through westward growth and rail development. Very hard to build rails in Canada. So these from earliest to latest again. So we have Act of Union, British Columbia joins Confederation, Charlottetown Conference, and Manitoba Act. So we have Act of Union, British Columbia joins Confederation, Charlottetown Conference, and Manitoba Act. And the right order is Act of Union, which is 1840, Charlottetown is 1864, Manitoba Act is 1870, and British Columbia joins Confederation is 1871. Now we are doing matching. So A through D, so are British Columbia Columbia, Prince Edward Island, Newfoundland and Labrador, and Manitoba. And the 124 is joined after rail link promise. 2. Island province joined after depth rail vows. 3. Created after Red River events. And 4. Entered after Confederation referendums. And the right answers are A. So British Columbia joined after a rail link promise. Prince Edward Island is the island province joined after depth rail vows. Newfoundland and Labrador entered after Confederation referendums in the start, and Manitoba created after Red River events. Okay. Now you have to guess somebody. I was exiled and later returned, but my political role remained controversial. I led the Red River resistance and helped bring a new province into Confederation. Many call me the leading political voice of the Métis. And the name is Louis Riel. Yeah, that tells me something. A key figure in prairie history whose actions influenced the creation of Manitoba. What is the name of the railway company that became a symbol of linking Canada from coast to coast? That one you know. And it's Canadian Pacific Company. Its completion helped tie British Columbia to the rest of the country and sped settlement and trade. And last one is odd one out. So we have Ontario, Manitoba, Alberta and British Columbia. So which one is odd one out? Ontario, Manitoba, Alberta and British Columbia. And the wrong one is Ontario, because Ontario was one of the original Confederation provinces. The others entered later. Now we have block 3, numero 3. World War I. Which First World War battle is often credited with boosting Canada's reputation as fighting force? Well, Canada's reputation was like they were absolutely savage. We should do a video about that. So Wimmerick, Passchendaele, Somme or Gallipoli. Wimmerick, Passchendaele, Somme or Gallipoli. And it was Wimmerick or Wimmerick, I think. Canadian troops captured a heavily defended ridge in France, and a moment often remembered as national milestone. The Statute of Westminster was passed in year over or under 1930. Statute of Westminster, it was in 1931. It recognized legislative independence for Canada and other dominions from the UK Parliament. So in OE4, you are already, you are already like independent. You are not dominion. So you are dominion in Victoria. Yeah, in Victoria, it's dominion, but I don't know. Does it matter? No. What is the name of the constitutional rights document that protects freedoms like expression and religion in Canada? What is the name of the constitutional rights document? Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Pretty basic. It's part of Canada's constitution and can override conflicting laws subject to certain limits. Block 4. Which Quebec crises involve kidnappings by the FLQ and led to the federal government invoking emergency powers? It was October Crisis, Oka Crisis, Meech Lake Crisis, or Winnipeg General Strike. Okay, I don't know. I didn't know that one. That's more recent history. Maybe somebody is remembering that. So it was called October Crisis. In 1970, kidnappings and violence prompted the use of War Measures Act, sparking lasting debate about civil liberties. Sorties from earliest to latest. Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, October Crisis, Statue of Westminster, or Battle of Weymouth. So you should know that because we talked about everything. This is just a repetition, and it's just the other way. So Weymouth is 1917. Statue of Westminster is 1931. October Crisis is 1970, and Charter of Rights is 1982. Interesting. What? Charter of Rights is 1982. Yeah, probably should be right. Now, much term to purpose. So we have War Measures Act, A, Statue of Westminster, B, C, Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, and D, CSIS. So, Civilian Intelligence Agency, Constitutional Rights Protection, Dominion Lawmaking Independence, and one Emergency Powers Law. So that's easy. So A is War Measures Act is Emergency Powers Law. Statue of Westminster is Dominion Lawmaking Independence. Statue of Westminster. Something. If you want to bring something from this video, Statue of Westminster. Okay. Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms is Constitutional Rights Protection, and CSIS is Civilian Intelligence Agency. Each term connotes Canadian security independence. Blah blah. Yeah. So next, guess a person. I want a Nobel Prize for diplomacy effort tied to an international canal crisis. I helped popularize modern peacekeeping and later led Canada as Prime Minister. A major airport in Toronto carries my full name. So, airport, if you've been to Canada, you know that. And it's Lester B. Pearson, a key Canadian statesman associated with peacekeeping and major social reforms in the 1960s. What is the name of Canada's National Police Force, famous for its red serge uniform in ceremonies? So name of the Canada's police force. And it's Royal Canadian Mounted Police. The mountain police, you know, you saw them sometimes in movies. Called RCMP. And now, odd one out. We have RCMP, CSIS, Canada Border Services Agency, and Canadian Armed Forces. So which one doesn't belong? RCMP, CSIS, Canadian Border Services Agency, and Canadian Armed Forces. And Canadian Armed Forces don't belong. Those before are law enforcement security agencies, and that last one is military. Block number 4. Which design is Canada's official national flag? Maple leaf flag, Union Jack, tricolor, or Stars and Stripes. So you know that one. Maple leaf flag, Union Jack, tricolor, Stars and Stripes. If you saw the thumbnail, you know that. And of course, maple leaf flag. Canada made "Oh Canada" its official anthem in a year over or under 1985. "Oh Canada." I will not sing it. Over or under 1985. And it's under. It was in 1980. It replaced "God Save the Queen." What is the name of the Canadian policy that promotes cultural diversity as part of national identity? So what is the name of Canadian policy? I didn't know they have this policy. It's multiculturalism. Does it work? I don't know. Based. Okay. So it's about multiculturalism. Which federal law made English and French the two official languages of the government of Canada? So which federal law? A. Clarity Act, Indian Act, War Measures Act, or Official Languages Act? Very hard question. This one, they are getting easier and easier because I want you to succeed at the end. And it is Official Languages Act, of course. So Canada speaks French and English. So this from earliest to latest again. So multiculturalism policy announced. "Oh Canada" becomes official. Royal Commission on Bilingualism and Biculturalism and Official Languages Act. So sort these. So first was Royal Commission on Bilingualism and Biculturalism. That's 1963. Next we have Official Languages Act, which is 1969. Nice. Then next we have the Multiculturalism Policy, which is 1971. And "Oh Canada" becoming the anthem is 1980. Interesting. Now you have to match the symbol to the link. So we have maple leaf, beaver, fleur de lis, and Inukshuk. So French Canadian heritage, fur trade era emblem, Arctic Inuit cultural marker, or national botanical symbol, or all. You have to match them. So maple leaf goes to national botanical symbol. Yeah. Beaver goes to fur trade era emblem. Yeah, beavers, they love beavers. Canadians and beavers. Fleur de lis is French Canadian heritage. Yeah. And Inukshuk, Arctic Inuit cultural marker. That's how that's how J.K. Rowling would call some Inuit. Yeah. So who am I? I was created when radio was becoming a mass medium, and I later became a major TV presence. I'm Canada's national public broadcaster in both English and French, and my English initials are 3 letters often said as one word. And it's CBC Radio Canada. CBC Radio Canada. What is the name of the Canadian holiday that celebrates the country's national day? What's the name of the Canada's national day? And it's Canada Day. Yippee. So Canada Day, that was easy. And now, odd one out. Maple leaf, beaver, and bald eagle. It's bald eagle, of course. Bald eagle goes out the window. That's not good. Not good there in Canada. And the last one, the easiest. Which trade agreement connected Canada, United States and Mexico into a single regional market? It was OPEC, ASEAN, NAFTA or NATO. So OPEC, ASEAN, NATO, NAFTA or NATO. And it was NAFTA, North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA. Yeah, that's what we in Czechia called oil. Like that you put into like diesel. Diesel is NAFTA in Czech. Nunavut was created in a year over or under 2000. Nunavut. Does it tell you something? And it was 1999. It became a new territory carved from the Northwest Territories with a majority Inuit population. Nunavut. What is the name of the Forum of 7 major advanced economies that includes Canada? What is the name of 7 advanced economies that include Canada? And it's G7. Canada, US, Japan, Germany, France, Italy, and the UK. Not Czechia, sadly. Which Canadian city hosted the Winter Olympics that used venues in Whistler? It was Ottawa, Calgary, Halifax, or Vancouver. Ottawa, Halifax, Calgary, or Vancouver. And it was Vancouver. Events held in nearby Whistler, boosting global attention on the Pacific coast. Sorties from earliest to latest. NAFTA comes into force. Expo 67. Canadian Bill of Rights and creation of Nunavut. So NAFTA comes into force. Expo 67. Canadian Bill of Rights and creation of Nunavut. And the right answer is Bill of Rights, which is 1960. Expo 67, which was, drumroll please, in 67. NAFTA 1994, so I was 2 years old. And Nunavut is 1999. By this group, to description, so we have NATO, Commonwealth, Francophonie, and United Nations. And we have French-speaking countries network, military alliance, global body for diplomacy, and association of former British Empire states. So NATO is military alliance. That's NATO. Commonwealth of the British people is association of former British Empire. If the how Churchill said that, and if which I never think about or something, the Britain is going to fall, the new world will save it or something like that. Then we have Francophonie, which is French-speaking countries network, and then we have United Nations, which is global body of diplomacy, UN. Now, who am I? I began a cross-country run with a prosthetic leg to raise money for disease cause. My marathon of hope became a national story after I had to stop early. An annual run in my name raises funds for cancer research. That one is known. I remember when was that? What year was that? Somebody write me down in the comments. And the name of the person is Terry Fox. Terry Fox Rana. What is the name of political system where Canada shares power between federal and provincial governments? And that one is called federalism. Very hard. And the last question. Odd one out. Yukon, Nunavut, Northwestern Territories and British Columbia. Yukon, Nunavut, Northwestern Territories and British Columbia. And odd one out is British Columbia, because Yukon, Nunavut and the Northwest Territories are territories and British Columbia is a province. So I hope you like this quite easy test. I'm just testing you. Some people like to sleep to this, so why not? I like to learn something new about countries, about everything. And if you do too, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, don't forget to hype, don't forget to ring a bell, don't forget to write a comment about what's your battery percentage or something, or write 6767. And I will see you in the next one.